gone to war because of Israel. And my first question for you is that I think we've seen Israel really expecting a military dominance, but we're now seeing these missile strikes penetrating Israeli defenses and hitting key infrastructure. From a purely military perspective, are we witnessing Israel and the United States lose control of this escalation?
What we're witnessing is Israel and the United States losing a war, and losing decisively.
Shabbat Shalom, Kol Holo, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Ba'ashim Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops, great millstone, even the elders that came before them and taught us his truth. Shabbat Shalom, salutations to all the brothers that push the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful life to Tabernacle of David, and the elder Yashuan. A quick lesson. Good news. You got to have good news. This is the definition of content that deserves to go viral. Sharing everywhere. Your dedication to quality is clearly evident. I've learned more from this than months of formal education. Sound like spam. Anyway. Sirach 5 and 15. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small. Take it away, Scott. Let's hear what you got to say. We'll let him talk for a while.
The United States and Israel always had the ability to put bombs on target, to make things go boom. That was unquestioned. They have some of the finest technology in the world. It's not. It doesn't take a military genius to make things go boom. But what's clear now, we're at day 17 or something like that. The things that are going boom aren't doing what they're supposed to do, which means retarding or degrading, diminishing the Iranian capacity to wage war. The Iranians have been prepared for everything we're doing. They're one step ahead of us the entire time. I will wager money. I don't have much, but I'll wager money on the fact that we haven't destroyed anything of significance in Iran. We were telegraphing this war for some time now. When I was a weapons inspector in Iraq, it came on the aftermath of Desert Storm, and I fought in the Desert Storm. I played a role in the targeting and battle damage assessment. I know how we would, because I was the guy that did it. You'd examine the strike imagery and you'd see, does destruction criteria met? Do we have a hole in the corner of the building where we wanted a hole to be? Yes, we do. Do we have evidence of secondary blast? Yes, we do. And we checked it all off and said, we killed everything. And then as a weapons inspector, I went to Iraq and inspected all the buildings that we blew up during Desert Storm, saying that we destroyed it, only to find that there was nothing in those buildings. They had all been evacuated beforehand. And the Iraqis brought it back. And I was told by an Iraqi general, he said, Scott, Mr. Scott, they always like to call me Mr. Scott. Mr. Scott, you Americans are really good at blowing up buildings. You're really good at it. And he said, and we're really good at pouring concrete. The difference is when you blew up a building, there's nothing in it. And when our concrete cures, we put the stuff back in and we're back in business. You didn't stop anything. And that's what's happening in Iran right now. If you think for a second that they left their high-value production equipment inside known production facilities after the United States was saying that there was a potential of war, we're moving aircraft carriers and we're moving airplanes in. If you think that's what happened, I've got a bridge in Brooklyn I'd like to sell you. I'll give you a good rate, but you're still going to buy it because it belongs to me, because you'll believe anything. These are empty buildings. So we're not achieving the result. That means that Iran's recovery from this conflict will be much quicker than anybody believes. They just have to build buildings. But what's inside the buildings, the expensive stuff, is being preserved in one of over 120 different hide sites that they've constructed inside the mountains. The Firdos underground nuclear enrichment facility that Trump bombed during Operation Midnight Hammer in June originally wasn't designed to hold Centrifuge Cascades. It was a hide site. They just basically went and carved out inside a mountain, and they had these standby hide sites in case of a war where they would take material and hide it in there. It was one of, like I said, 120, and there are probably more that were constructed for this purpose. Each one of which is linked to a facility that is linked to assigned trucks that are designed to grab this stuff and bring it to that facility. Maybe we know where one or two of these are. We're collapsing tunnels. That's the catchphrase. We're collapsing tunnels. Okay, so we collapse a tunnel that has production equipment inside. Production equipment's still there. Someday the tunnel will be actually the production equipment. We're not doing what we think we're doing. We're definitely not stopping their ballistic missiles from being launched because they're launching them every day to great effect. So this campaign that we designed is achieving nothing except establishing that we're war criminals. I mean, not only the assassination of Ali Khamenei on day one, first 6 missiles, that is murder by the.
So the Most High is thwarting, okay? The Most High is spoiling Pharaoh, if you will, between Trump and Bibi Netanyahu. All their plans are going up in smoke. Their munitions aren't working. Their weapons, these highly touted weapons of war, aren't doing what they paid millions and billions of dollars for. These antiquated, old, outdated pieces of military hardware that are, irrelevant in today's drone-filled battlefield, if you will. Okay, so nothing is going right for the West. Okay, and that's what he's explaining. Say it a little more.
Well, you see, Scott, he's a legitimate command and control target only if we have a legitimate war going on. Who declared war? Not Congress. They've punted on this one.
So everything they're doing is upside down and backwards. And it's set up against them, and they're so proud they think that they can push it forth anyway. They already lost the war 3 times already, thinking that they could come around, sneak through the back door, and get some kind of W.
President, did he get the Security Council of the United Nations to pass a Chapter 7 resolution? And I know all the naysayers are, Scott, come on, that's not, it's the Constitution. I hate to educate Americans on the Constitution because I'd like to believe that they are intimately familiar with it. But the Supremacy Clause of the Constitution says that when we sign a treaty, the President signs a treaty, and the Senate has ratified the treaty by more than 2/3, becomes the supreme law of the land.
So everything this devil is doing right now is upside down and backwards. Right? Foot shall this nigga right now, we can see his foot is sliding. Everything that he's doing, right? Oh, in order to go to war, you gotta go to Congress. You gotta, there's a procedure, right? There are 3 branches. Deuteronomy 32 and 35. To me belongeth vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time, for the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things that shall come upon them make haste. These things are coming upon them. Defeat, a great and decisive military defeat, right? Everybody knows about it except for Babylon.
Not like that. I don't care. It's the Constitution, the Supremacy Clause, the supreme law of the land. That means that the United Nations Charter is the supreme law of the land, bound to us by the Constitution. And the Charter prohibits what we're doing right now. The only time we can go to war, according to the Charter, is if we were attacked by Iran. I'll get to that in a minute.
But you did the attacking. Okay, so you're the bad guy. You're the one committing. See, it's not Netanyahu committing the genocide. It's Donald Trump giving money and bombs to Bibi while they commit the genocide. So they're doing it together. The only people that don't understand that you're involved in conducting the genocide Babylon, right? Because the rest of the world knows it. Babylon's the only one that don't know it. Okay. Babylon knows that Bibi is conducting a genocide, but Babylon will not accept responsibility for their role in it. Okay. Oh no, that's Israel. Here it is. Babylon is Israel first, but Israel is conducting the genocide.
Or if the Security Council
with Babylon's weapons and money, it just doesn't make sense. The denial in Egypt is remarkable.
claims that there is an imminent threat to international peace and security that can't be resolved through diplomatic intervention, they will authorize the use of military force. That's what we did.
Babylon can't negotiate with anybody in the world. Just like the small hats. Small hats have ruined their reputation all over the world. And guess what? So has Babylon. They're in the same boat.
Desert Storm. We had authority from the United Nations to build a coalition to liberate Kuwait from Iraqi invaders. And we also had permission of Congress. They met 4 days, I think, before the bombing began and passed a resolution saying we authorized the president to inform.
And that was all bullshit, that authorization. It was all the same thing. But this time, right, they didn't do any of those checks and balances to make it even more corrupt than the last ones were. You think given permission to go into Iraq was righteous in any fashion? Hell no, it wasn't. Whether you went through Congress or whatever you checks and balances you went.
The Chapter 7 resolution. Here, the president has made some sort of weak claim about the necessity of preemption. The problem is he can't give him his story straight, because he was told us from the very beginning that the Iranians were going to hit us. They were going to strike us first, and we had to strike them first.
Lie. Everything is upside down. Everything going into this, right, is unrighteous. Going into what? Why are they moving like this? Okay, let's get that. Because we're at the end, they know that. We have 12 and 12. Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, O heavens, and you who dwell in them, but woe to the earth and the sea. With great fury the devil has come down to you, knowing that he has only a short time. So they're moving completely erratically and shabbily, like Shabba Ranks out here. And why? Because it's Hail Mary time, really. They know what it is. The angels are here. Jellyfish UFOs taking down F-35.
Well, the Pentagon went to Congress and said, that's not the truth. The Iranians were never going to attack us first. They were prepared to respond if we attacked them, but there was never an imminent threat of a preemptive Iranian attack. And so that argument falls apart. But
Let's see, get a little more and go ahead and close. Bear with me. The water.
But even then, what is the threat? Nuclear. We hear that. J.D. Vance just said it in the White House. It's a nuclear threat. Except we know that it isn't a nuclear threat. How? First of all, Tulsi Gabbard, the Director of National Intelligence, briefed the United States Congress last year and said there is no Iranian nuclear weapons program. She's the honcho, number one. There's nobody above her in the intelligence world. This is the consensus assessment of the community. And the president said, she's wrong. I'm getting my intelligence elsewhere, from Israel. And again, for all the Americans out there, that should get your craw, because our intelligence said there is none. The Israeli intelligence said, and I will tell you, somebody who's followed Israeli intelligence for some time, we know that in 2004, the Israelis submitted fabricated documents to the International Atomic Energy Agency accusing the Iranians of having a nuclear weapons program. Forged. The Israelis forged them. They seem to believe that we forgot about that, because in 2018, they once again briefed President Trump on newly discovered documents. And when people like me went through them, we went, it's the same document.
Same document. Same devil. Right? I'm going to close right there. This is Egypt all over again. No new thing. Nothing new. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9 in the NIV. What has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. This is the last World War. Okay, but I mean, it's nothing new. This is Egypt 2.0. It's been done before. With that, we pray that the elect ratified you, brother.